Welcome to Lyra Audio Tales. I hope you enjoy the story. Do you know what head swapping is? I'm a disguise artist, or you could simply call me a makeup artist. But I never go to my clients in person, because my clients send their heads to me instead. It's here already? I nodded lightly as I replied, this time add a bit more of the base solution. Didn't you say you were going to take a break for a while? I want to make sure all my tools are fully prepared first. Right now, I'm at Nut Du Long Funeral Parlor in the city. I came here to restock supplies. Every month, I come to Sister Sarah's place to select cosmetics. Sister Sarah's funeral supplies shop is said to be the largest in this area. But what I need to purchase isn't funeral merchandise, it's makeup. 5 years ago, when I had hit rock bottom and was preparing to end my life, Sister Sarah helped me. She said I had talent and introduced me to the profession of head swapping makeup. The pay is far from low. They call it head swapping. But in essence, it's still makeup artistry. Unlike ordinary makeup artists, our clients never come to us in person, and we never provide on-site service either. Instead, they send their heads here themselves. This technique must be used in combination with a special powder that Sister Sarah acquires. After the head is severed and the powder is applied to the cut, as long as it's reattached within 10 days, no deformity can be detected. This powder is even more expensive than diamonds. That's why my clients are either wealthy or powerful. Many of them are even top-tier celebrities. I'm not bragging, but my makeup skills are genuinely exceptional. Otherwise, how could anyone dare to risk sending their head to me? Compared to plastic surgery, many people would rather personally witness their own beauty. At first, most of my clients were introduced by Sister Sarah. Later, word of mouth spread, and clients began seeking me out on their own. Sending a severed head is troublesome. The special cosmetics can last from several months up to a year. The only downside is the smell. All the products stink horribly, the odor of long-term decay. But after being applied for less than an hour, a faint fragrance spreads. Otherwise, no one would accept it. To be honest, I was terrified at first. But then I thought, I wasn't even afraid of death itself. So why fear this? I had seen them reattached with my own eyes, alive and well. Once I knew nothing went wrong, my fear faded. I signed a confidentiality agreement. I'm not allowed to know my clients' identities, and even if I recognize them, I must never speak of it. Still, I've seen many rising idols who were once my clients. Every time I read fans praising their appearance, my heart fills with satisfaction. She finally found the perfect look. Did she change makeup artists? I want to send my head to her makeup artist too. Please weld this makeup permanently onto her face. Thank you 1,000 times. Fans joke about sending their heads, never knowing that their beloved idols actually did. After greeting Sister Sarah, I asked her not to introduce new clients for a while. For 5 years straight, I hadn't had a proper break. Because the special powder only lasts 10 days, whenever a client calls, I must be there immediately. Missing it would be catastrophic. I had planned carefully, rejecting all clients for 1 month so I could finally enjoy a vacation. To Sanya and Yunnan, places I had long dreamed of visiting. But the 1-month vacation was cut short after just 2 weeks. For some reason, anxiety plagued me during the trip. It felt as if countless insects were crawling inside my head. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't sleep. Dragging my exhausted body home, I finally understood the source of my unease. There was a delivery package at my door. It was spherical, crudely wrapped in packing paper. No address, no postage stamp. A foul smell seeped through the paper, thick liquid leaking out and pooling beneath it. Flies swarmed around the package. I had no neighbors. Otherwise, someone might have mistaken it for wet trash and thrown it away. My sense of dread intensified. Using 2 fingers, I carefully carried it inside, my heart racing, still clinging to a sliver of hope. It couldn't be what I thought. Who would send something like this without an address? I cut a small slit. A lock of hair appeared first, along with a nauseating stench mixed with viscous fluid. My heart sank. I forced myself to cut further and collapsed to the floor at the horrifying sight. Inside was a head, A rotten, decaying human head. I immediately called Sister Sarah. She covered her nose and stared at me. Is this a client you introduced? She used tweezers to turn the head over, revealing the neck wound. The cut is uneven, like it was hacked with an axe. There's torn flesh, exposed white tissue, and traces of red and yellow matter. Fortunately, some special powder was applied. Otherwise, there would already be maggots. This is definitely not my client. She was right. Clients she introduced always had perfectly clean cuts, necessary for proper reattachment. Then whose head was this? Sister Sarah frowned. This face looks familiar. At the bottom of the package, I found a note sealed in plastic. I don't have money. Please help me. I really want to be beautiful. The handwriting was rough and masculine, completely mismatched with the delicate face. I remember now. Sister Sarah forgot to even take off her gloves and slapped her own forehead. This woman has come to my shop many times. So she was your customer? Luckily, Sister Sarah's shop was equipped with security cameras that could be accessed remotely via phone. After watching the footage, the two of us fell silent. This woman had visited Sister Sarah's shop repeatedly, trying to steal the specially formulated powder. She must have heard that this powder could be used for head swapping, but since she didn't have enough money to buy it, she chose to steal instead. According to Sister Sarah, the woman had repeatedly asked for detailed information about head swapping. She had also roughly investigated me and knew that I was soft-hearted. If I had received the package as usual, I probably would have helped her, even for free. But she never would have expected that I just happened to be on vacation. Perhaps she didn't even know that a head could only be separated from the body for 10 days. We have to secretly get rid of this head before anyone finds out. The never onces. Sister Sarah took a deep breath, as if she had made up her mind. Our line of work can't be exposed. She chopped off her own head. How could you blame me for that? Every single time she asked, I emphasized that a head couldn't be separated from the body for more than 10 days. Who told her not to listen? Isn't this just her asking for trouble? As she spoke, Sister Sarah shot an angry glare at the head, her eyes flashing with fury. I, on the other hand, couldn't quite bring myself to feel the same way. I mean, even so, before I could finish, there was suddenly the sound of someone kicking the door from outside. I'm here to get the head. Open the door. I know you're home. Could it be the owner of the head? Wait, no. This was that man's voice. Sister Sarah motioned for silence and pressed herself against the door, peering through the peephole. After a while, she turned to me and shook her head slightly. I took a look as well. Outside stood a young man I had never seen before. His face was twisted with aggression, unnaturally flushed, as if he were drunk. As we were watching, the door suddenly shook violently. He kicked it again. Damn it, open the door. I know you're in there. Hurry up, I'm here to take the head. Believe it or not, I'll burn this whole house down. After a moment, his tone suddenly changed. Please help her. I'm begging you. She really wants to be beautiful. She's a pitiful girl. If you don't help her, I won't reattach her head. If she dies, it'll all be your fault. Don't you have any shame? A living person dying because of you. All you had to do was lift a finger, and you still wouldn't? Damn it, I'm begging you now. Okay? You won't accept a friendly approach. So you want the hard way? Fine. I'll come and make trouble every single day. If that doesn't work, I'll go straight to your shop and cause chaos there. Let's see how you keep doing business. 10U Road, right? That was the address of Sister Sarah's funeral supplies shop. She was furious and moved to open the door, ready to kick him out, but I stopped her. Hearing movement inside, the man kicked the door even harder. Sister Sarah cursed under her breath. Damn it, is he sick in the head? What kind of fake moral performance is this? Scumbag. This head is already about to rot away. If he'd cared even a little, things wouldn't have come to this. She knocked lightly on the door. Outside instantly fell silent. Come back tomorrow at this time. Hearing that, the man immediately became excited. Yes, I'll come back tomorrow. Thank you. Living Bodhisattva. Make sure you do her makeup beautifully. Sister Sarah and I stared at each other speechless. Telling him to come back tomorrow was only a temporary measure. Sister Sarah wrapped the head in several layers of bags, then found a box and shoved it inside with a look of disgust. I'll go back and think of a solution. Be careful. That guy is unstable. Who knows what he might do next? I nodded. Sister Sarah left in her high heels, carrying the box with her. Even long after she left, I still hadn't recovered. Although I worked in such a terrifying profession, the heads I received from clients were always clean and flawless, not a single scratch. To me, they were no different from mannequins, but this was a real death. Facing a rotting human head, I finally realized how cowardly I actually was. Early the next morning, when Sister Sarah knocked on my door, she was startled by my appearance. "Did you not sleep all night?" I forced a bitter smile. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, that head appeared. Her hand paused while she was taking off her shoes. That makes sense. You've never dealt with things like this. Have you found a solution? No. It's been too long. As she spoke, she brought the head out. After some basic treatment, it looked much cleaner than before, but it was still rotting. I rubbed my eyes and went to wash my face, hoping to wake myself up. In the mirror, my face was deathly pale. My eyes were bloodshot, dark circles clearly visible. I didn't look much better than the head on the table. Just as I was about to step out, I noticed that the shower curtain suddenly moved. I turned to look at the window. It was tightly shut. There was no way there could be any wind. There was someone in the bathroom. I froze in place. The blood in my veins felt like it had stopped flowing. Listening carefully, I heard faint breathing coming from behind the curtain. I pretended not to notice anything and walked straight toward the door. In just a few seconds, my heart was pounding so hard it felt like it would burst out of my chest. At the same moment, the doorknob was turned. "You took forever just to wash your face." I raised my hand and silently mouthed the words, "There's someone in the bathroom." I thought Sister Sarah would pull me outside first and deal with it later. Instead, she yanked me behind her and walked straight into the bathroom, pulling the curtain open. At that moment, I had only one thought. Sister Sarah was insanely badass. No wonder she worked with people from the other side. The shower curtain was pulled aside. A man was standing there. "Are you okay? If you want the head, just take it." "Why are you hiding in someone else's bathroom?" He was holding a knife, his expression ferocious. Clearly, he hadn't expected Sister Sarah to rip the curtain open like that. Being scolded straight in the face left him completely stunned. "Come out. Let's talk about the head." After saying that, Sister Sarah ignored him, turned around, and gently pushed me forward. She walked behind me, shielding me. The man stepped out of the bathtub and followed us. I didn't know why Sister Sarah was so fearless. At that moment, I was terrified that he would stab her from behind. Perhaps she sensed my fear, because she lightly patted my shoulder in reassurance. When the man saw the head on the table, he rushed forward and examined it closely. "Stop staring. Nothing's been done yet. That head's been left too long. It's already ruined." The man let out a wail and threw himself onto the head, hugging it as he cried in agony. Seeing this, Sister Sarah curled her lips. "If you really wanted what was best for her, why didn't you gather proper information before coming? 2 weeks ago, no one was here, yet you dumped the head here and just left it like that." He could only howl and cry, tears and snot streaming down his face. He did look pitiful. But this was the same man who had threatened us with a knife again and again, dumped the head at my doorstep to scare me, and even hid in my bathroom. After all that, I couldn't feel a shred of sympathy for him anymore. Sister Sarah pulled 2 chairs over and told me to sit. She sat down as well, lit a cigarette, and said, "It's not that there's no way." The man's eyes immediately lit up. "But you'll have to pay a price." As soon as she finished speaking, he replied without hesitation, "I don't have any money." I frowned slightly. It wasn't that I cared about payment, but the way he answered so quickly made it feel less like he couldn't pay, and more like he simply didn't want to. Sister Sarah clearly felt the same. She rolled her eyes and curled her lips in disdain. Then he began telling their story. The girl whose head had been severed was named Elysian. His name was Leonard. They were lovers. When he mentioned that Elysian had always been insecure about her appearance, I glanced at the head on the table. Honestly, She wasn't bad looking at all. I sighed softly, feeling a trace of pity for this unfamiliar girl. They had no money and lived together in a cramped rented room. So when Elysian heard about head-swapping makeup, she was both excited and hesitant. Hesitant because they couldn't afford it. Perhaps she had already made up her mind. Elysian had gone to Sister Sarah's shop many times to mix the special powder. But even after gathering enough powder, the makeup artist's fee still weighed heavily on her mind. Because of this, she became anxious, unable to eat or sleep properly, growing thinner and thinner by the day. Lyra Audio Tales wishes you a pleasant day. According to Leonard, he was heartbroken seeing Elysian suffer like that and wanted to free her. So while she was asleep, he secretly chopped off her head, planning to surprise her once everything was ready. Hearing this made my stomach churn. If he truly wanted to help Elysian fulfill her wish, he should have tried to save money, not taken advantage of the situation under the guise of twisted morality. Elysian was truly innocent and pitiful, losing her life because of a careless man who believed he was right. Even Sister Sarah felt a twinge of sympathy after hearing this. Where's her body? Her body? I put it in a freezer. Leave the head here. I can only recreate a new one using other materials. Leonard's eyes flickered. Can you modify it a little? Modify it? Her mouth is huge, ugly as hell. The moment you look at it, it's like she's about to eat a child. Can you make it a bit smaller? And her nose isn't pretty either, not straight enough. Can you make it taller? Sister Sarah was so angry she actually laughed. Anything else? Thinking her smile looked gentle, Leonard tried to butter her up and stepped closer. The rest is up to you two. You're professionals. Your aesthetic sense is way better than mine. I curled my lips. Why don't we just make her into a peerless beauty while we're at it? Not realizing he was being mocked, Leonard smiled awkwardly and asked, Really? Is that actually possible? I seriously wanted to slap him twice. Sister Sarah let out a cold laugh. Impossible. We recreate her exactly as she was. If you accept it, we'll do it. If not, get lost. Leonard froze, his expression turning ugly. Then he changed his face instantly, forcing an awkward smile. Okay. As long as it can be restored. Anyway, that sister here will do her makeup later, right? He switched attitudes so fast that I almost thought what I saw earlier was an illusion. Sarah, can you really make another head for her? After finally sending Leonard away, I voiced the doubt in my heart. Yes, but it's very complicated. As she answered me, Sister Sarah flipped through Elysian's diary. She had told Leonard that recreating a head required understanding every aspect of Elysian, so he brought over her personal belongings, clothes, and diaries. Although reading someone else's private writings wasn't appropriate, saving a life left us no other choice. There was a problem with the diary. From childhood onward, Elysian had always kept a diary, but the ones Leonard brought contained no entries from the past 6 months. I picked one up and flipped through it. Sure enough, that was the case. Had something happened in those 6 months that caused her to suddenly stop writing? Impossible. According to the diary, even when her parents died, a devastating blow, she never gave up this habit. And I had just asked Leonard earlier. In the past year, Elysian hadn't shown any abnormalities at all. As I flipped back and forth through the diary, my mind suddenly replayed Leonard's behavior when we met him. Could it be that he had deliberately withheld the missing diaries? Sister Sarah lightly tapped my head. Yes, he was definitely hiding something. I added the details I had noticed earlier. Based on the diary entries, Elysian was like a ray of sunshine, positive, even confident. She didn't seem like someone who would lose sleep or appetite over her looks, so we had to find the missing half-year of diaries. At midnight, we began searching, starting from the kitchen and working our way inward. Their kitchen was small and cramped, but extremely clean and tidy. Even the exhaust fan had been wiped spotless, without a trace of grease. It was clear that Elysian had been a diligent, proper woman. Yet, outside the kitchen, every other area was filthy beyond belief. Beer bottles littered every corner. There were patches of vomit visible on the floor. A large freezer sat conspicuously in the living room. What lay inside was surely Elysian's body. The coffee table was piled high with instant noodle cups and empty containers. The residue had attracted swarms of flies. The bedroom door was ajar, Thunderous snoring echoed from inside. Since diaries were most often hidden in bedrooms, we decided to search the outer rooms first. Unfortunately, we found nothing, so we had no choice but to enter the bedroom. The moment we pushed the door open, a stench, mixed with strong alcohol, hit us in the face. It was nauseating. There was also a faint metallic smell of blood lingering in the air. I looked at Leonard lying on the bed with disgust. He must have drunk heavily. He was fast asleep. The room was tiny. So tiny there wasn't even a window. Dirty clothes were scattered all over the floor. Sister Sarah tiptoed toward the vanity table. My eyes, however, were drawn to a pale pink suitcase beside the bed. Although it seemed unlikely someone would keep a diary in a suitcase, something compelled me to walk over. I gently pulled the zipper open. Suddenly, loud banging came from outside the apartment. A man's curses rang out from beyond the door. I jolted in fright. I immediately turned to look at Leonard, lying less than a meter away. I was so scared I couldn't move. Sister Sarah pulled me up and dragged me under the bed. My heart pounded like a drum. I clutched the diary tightly against my chest. Sister Sarah crawled ahead of me. I almost tripped over something. It turned out to be a bedsheet soaked in blood. Along with a length of rope, dyed a dark crimson. They were completely stained, their original appearance unrecognizable, thrown casually on the floor. Inside the suitcase were women's clothes and a blue notebook. But when I looked outside, my heart clenched. The suitcase was still wide open. I heard Leonard muttering curses as he slowly sat up in bed. Fortunately, he was still half drunk and distracted by the commotion outside, so he didn't notice the open suitcase. He got up and stormed out, still swearing. I was so terrified that my whole body went weak. I wanted to stay hidden there, but Sister Sarah shoved me urgently. Now was our best chance to escape. She peeked out first. Leonard was holding a knife, hacking violently at the door, shouting at the people outside. I vaguely heard that he owed huge gambling debts and had refused to repay them, which was why they had come looking for him. Damn it, come any closer and I'll kill you all. No money, just this one lousy life. While Leonard was focused on the door, Sister Sarah and I rushed into the kitchen and fled the same way we came. Before leaving, I didn't forget to zip the suitcase back up. Holding the diary in my hands, I finally understood why Leonard had wanted to hide it. The fragmented feeling I had when listening to his story. I had finally found the source of it all. Although Leonard kept talking about how much he loved his girlfriend, how well he treated her, every word he spoke carried underlying contempt toward Elysian. It turned out that Leonard had been PUAing Elysian all along. PUA, short for pickup artist, is a disgusting form of manipulation and control over women, wrapped up and glorified as some kind of art. The 2nd of June, 2022. Today, when Leonard hugged me, he said my stomach had too much fat. He said girls shouldn't be so careless about their bodies. The 5th of June, 2022. It's been 3 days since Leonard has paid any attention to me. Why is that? Does he not love me anymore? The 6th of June, 2022. Today, Leonard finally looked at me again. He said I shouldn't go out without makeup. It would embarrass him. The 10th of June, 2022. I'm starting to wonder whether this relationship is still worth it. The 11th of June, 2022. Today, I said I wanted to break up. But Leonard knelt down and begged me, saying he was only teasing me on purpose to make me unhappy. After that, he surprised me with a bouquet of flowers. Sunflowers. My favorite kind. I misunderstood him. The 15th of July, 2022. Is my mouth really that big? I've tried not to open it wide when I smile, but Leonard still doesn't like it. The 18th of August, 2022. I wish I had a taller nose. Wouldn't that make me a better match for Leonard? The 5th of September, 2022. Today, Leonard told me about a funeral supplies shop that does head-swapping makeup. He said that if you send your head there, it can be made beautifully glamorous. The 10th of September, 2022. I went there to ask. Head-swapping makeup requires a lot of money. Special powder has to be purchased, and the artist's fee is extremely high. How could we ever afford that? The 7th of October, 2022. Save money. Save money for head swapping. The 1st of November, 2022. Leonard told me to go mix the powder. He said that way, we'd only need to save money for the labor fee. The 5th of November, 2022. Am I being too obsessed with my appearance? The diary stopped abruptly here. On the page was a long, jagged pen mark, as if the writing had been forcibly interrupted halfway through. As though someone had suddenly snatched the notebook away. At last, Sister Sarah stopped her non-stop stream of curses. She was so thirsty that she grabbed a bottle of water beside her and drank it all in one go. Not only did Sister Sarah feel furious, I wanted to beat that scumbag to death myself. That bastard Leonard was truly despicable. For the past 6 months, he had treated Elysian hot and cold, sometimes close, sometimes distant, all to keep her firmly under his control. Then he began nitpicking everything about her, criticizing one flaw after another, until a girl who had once been optimistic and confident was manipulated into doubting her own worth. Because Elysian had lost her parents at a young age and lacked affection growing up, the slightest warmth from Shentung felt like a lifeline to her, something to cling to in order to survive. And so, from that moment on, he led her by the nose all the way to the end. I even began to suspect that, in the end, Leonard never truly intended to surprise Elysian with a head swap at all, but that he had forced her into it. Sister Sarah raised her finger and touched the long pen mark on the page. "Tell me," she said, "why do you think the diary suddenly stops here? Could it be that Leonard suddenly forbade her from writing a diary? But why?" We both fell into silence. Suddenly, as if something had come to mind, Sister Sarah took out her phone. I think she added me as a friend, curious. I leaned closer and saw her open a WeChat chat window that had been there for a long time. "Some time ago, this person added me and sent one message, then nothing else," Sister Sarah said. "I was too busy with work, so I didn't pay much attention to it. The other party's username consisted of just one character, Ely. The chat history contained only a single message. Sorry." The timestamp was from the exact days when Elysian had been secretly mixing the powder. Could it be that her conscience had troubled her, prompting her to send that apology? Driven by curiosity, I clicked into her WeChat Moments page. Luckily, her posts were still visible to Sister Sarah. The earlier content closely matched what was written in the diary, from a cheerful, confident girl to someone who, after meeting Shentung, began expressing exhaustion over her appearance, even doubting her own worth. I hurriedly scrolled to the period where the diary had stopped. Elysian's WeChat Moments. The 5th of November 2022, 3:26 p.m. Leonard took my diary away. He won't allow me to write these things anymore. He says it makes me overthink. So I'll block him from seeing my moments and write my diary here instead. The 5th of November 2022, 11:58 p.m. I've been thinking for a long time. Was I the one who was wrong all along? Why should I doubt and deny myself just because I love Leonard? I should love myself first. That's what's right. The 6th of November 2022, 6:41 a.m. I've made up my mind. Today, I'm going to tell Leonard that I don't want to swap my head anymore. I need to accept my own face. Accept everything about myself. The 6th of November 2022, 10:38 p.m. Today, Leonard and I had a huge fight. He hit me. I wanted to leave. Then he begged me again, saying he was only doing it for my own good. He said if I didn't want to swap my head, then we wouldn't. As long as I was happy, that was all that mattered. I don't even know anymore whether I should still believe him. The 8th of November 2022, 11:23 a.m. I wanted to return the money to the shop owner for the powder I mixed, but I found out that Leonard had taken all the money I'd saved and gambled it away. I had no choice but to apologize to her. I told her I would repay her as soon as I saved up enough money. The 10th of November, 2022, 5:16 p.m. Leonard started criticizing my nose again, saying it wasn't tall enough. I've decided to leave this place. The 12th of November 2022, 2:24 p.m. Goodbye, Van Tan. Goodbye, Leonard. The final post was accompanied by 2 photos. One was the pink suitcase we had seen earlier. The other was a dazzling blaze of sunlight. A few words were overlaid on the image. Love yourself. Love your new life. After a long silence, Sister Sarah took out her phone and called a friend at the bus station, asking for surveillance footage from that day. In the surveillance footage, Elysian was seen dragging a large suitcase behind her. Though she looked frail, each step she took was firm and determined. Our hearts nearly stopped as we followed her on the screen, watching her wait for the bus, watching her pull the suitcase and line up. Even though we already knew the ending, my heart still clenched tightly. I wanted so badly for her to succeed, to make it onto that bus. Just as it was almost time to enter the station, a figure wearing a cap emerged from the corner. A hand reached out, grabbed her by the hair, and yanked her backward. It was Leonard. He pulled her hair with one hand, while looking around at the crowd, smiling and saying something casually. The people nearby probably thought it was just a couple having a quarrel. No one paid much attention. Most ignored Elysian's cries and screams, either pretending nothing was happening or simply turning their heads away. And just like that, Elysian was dragged straight out of the bus station. That day was exactly the day Sister Sarah had predicted, the day Elysian was beheaded. After learning the true cause of Elysian's death, Sister Sarah quickly recreated her head, making it an exact replica of the original. If you can already recreate it to this extent, I asked, then why do they still want to apply makeup? Why not just create the head of a peerless beauty outright? You really are the kindest one here, Sister Sarah replied. She lightly tapped my head with her finger. Who would want to live with a fake head attached to their body? Of course they'd want to use their own. Besides, this is forbidden art. It can only be used once. Forbidden art? I frowned. Don't tell me touching it will cause trouble. Sister Sarah shot me a look. With me here, what trouble could there be? I helped her carefully inspect all the medicinal formulas needed for the ritual, then nodded at her. Now, all that was left was to wait for Leonard. He had to spend a large sum of money just to find someone willing to transport the freezer here. The delivery workers must have been puzzled. It was just a freezer. So why did it need to be covered with black cloth? After they left, we cautiously carried Elysian's body out. Her head was gone. The frozen body hadn't decomposed much, but it had still suffered severe damage. That was why a ritual was necessary. Before beginning, Sister Sarah spoke privately with Shin Tung. After all, this isn't her original head, she said. So the process will be a bit more complicated. Master, Leonard said, pretending to wipe away tears, can you erase her memories from this period of time? I'm afraid she'll remember the pain of being beheaded. Disgusting. Was he acting? Or did he truly believe his own lies? Sister Sarah forced herself to suppress the nausea. Of course, she replied. Then she asked the crucial question. Let me ask you this. Do you truly want her to come back to life? Leonard hesitated for a moment. As long as her memories can be erased and she becomes more beautiful, I only need a yes or no, Sister Sarah said coldly. Yes. Very well. You can leave. What? Leonard froze. That's it? Go home first. Come back at this time tomorrow. Muttering to himself, Leonard left. Why did we need to wait another day? The next morning, while we were eating breakfast, we saw the city news. A man had been found beheaded in his home. Police suspected the motive was unpaid gambling debts, retaliation by loan sharks. The footage on the news was blurred, but even through the blur, we could clearly recognize the scene. It was the very room we had broken into before. In truth, the ritual had already been completed the moment he answered yes the day before. Elysian could come back to life. If Leonard had truly wanted her to live, then nothing would have happened to him. But it was he who had tied Elysian up inside the house. It was he who had personally beheaded her. So when Elysian was revived, he was immediately met with backlash. The forbidden art turned against him. At the same time, one of Sister Sarah's employees called to report that the shop had suddenly caught fire last night. Everything had been burned to ashes. Nothing was left, including the miraculous powder. I turned to look at Sister Sarah in disbelief. I remembered how, the night before, she had firmly instructed all the staff to leave work by 6 in the evening. No one was allowed to stay overnight in the shop. She remained calm, as if she hadn't heard anything at all, and simply handed me a slice of buttered bread. Noticing my gaze, she spoke softly. This is the price one must pay for using forbidden arts. Tears immediately welled up in my eyes. Sister Sarah, what now? From now on, I'll take care of you. Are you crazy? She snorted. I have more money than you, you know. After saying that, she turned to look at Elysian, whose eyes were also shimmering with tears. All right. You two, honestly, I was planning to retire anyway. The three of us opened an online shop together, specializing in live streaming makeup content. Elysian became the model of the shop. Now, she is confident, radiant with her own unique charm. She often models herself on camera, hoping everyone can learn to accept themselves, even with imperfections. As for me, I occasionally teach some basic makeup and beauty knowledge. The intention was to encourage people to work on themselves so they wouldn't suffer over appearances anymore. But somehow, everyone seemed to misunderstand my message. The comments section. Oh my God, I want to send my head over to you. You're too beautiful. Sigh. Sister Sarah must be so bored every day. Sister Sarah scrolls through the comments, replying to each one. Absolutely not. Get lost. Dream on. Be confident, girl. You're already the most beautiful. If you've wandered into the darkness with Lyra Audio Tales, don't forget to leave a comment, a like, and a subscription, so you won't miss the secrets and the haunting stories that are still waiting for you ahead.